Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video session on daily news and editorial analysis dated 11th of November. Through this video session, I'll be covering the important news and editorial both from the Hindu and Indian Express. The entire session is going to be helpful for all the aspirants who are appearing for the Civil Services examination, State Public Service Commission examination, and even for the one-day examination that is conducted by the various agencies in country. So this session is looking forward with more analysis part and help all the aspirant who will be appearing for the upcoming prelims examination as well. So with this discussion, first I'll proceed with the highlights of the news, then we'll see each news one by one in detailed analysis. So let's get started with the news highlight for the day. The first news is all about the governor power. The Supreme Court has taken the cognizance of the fact that the power of the governor is not absolute and he cannot withhold the bill which is passed by the state legislature. We'll see the detail out of this particular news. Second important news talks about the COP28. This will be held in Dubai, and the Prime Minister is expected to visit in the summit virtually. The third important news talks about the India and UK relation, specifically with regards to India-UK free trade agreement. This will be also pending this month as well. So it was anticipated that this will be passed, but there is no coming resolutions to it. The last news, that is the IIP growth, which has fallen to 5.8%. This is a 3-month low performance that India is witnessing in terms of IIP. And I'll be concluding the session with editorial that talks about the rise of a matter. This specifically talks about the stubble burning and how the farmer can be provided with alternative so that they're actually reinforced and motivated to look for the alternative other than the stubble burning. So we'll look deep down into this editorial, which is there by Ashok Gulati, a brilliant editorial that will give you an insight about this. So let's get started with a detailed analysis of the news one by one. So the first news is about the governor power over the state bill. Supreme Court, the Honorable Apex Court, has taken the cognizance of the fact that the governor is a titular head of the state. What does titular head mean? This means that he's a nominal head of the state. So he has to work on aid and advice of the union cabinet. बात करें अगर स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर की, तो स्टेट की जो कैबिनेट है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली ही गवर्नर को फंक्शन करना होता है. एंड बाय द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, the governor is an agent of the central government. So he has to make a coordination ensuring that cooperative federalism in India is promoted through the union and state. तो काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जर्वेशंस है सुप्रीम कोर्ट की, जो आपके जनरल स्टडीज पेपर 2 के लिए भी रेलेवेंट है, and even for optional paper also, specifically political science students के लिए ये भी relevant. So the court has said that the decision was actually on the validity of the assembly sessions which has actually passed a law, और ये जो laws pass की गई है that is there by the elected representative. Supreme Court had said that a due importance must be given to the elective representative rather than the governor. He cannot withhold the bill or the part which has been actually passed by the state legislature. So we'll see the detail to this, क्या क्या constitutional provisions हैं. I'll also make you understand that as well, and we'll proceed further. So first is the background. The apex court, that is the Honorable Supreme Court, has settled a law which was there in the read petition. एक read petition file की गई थी by the Punjab government, complaining about the governor that he has held back the crucial important bill. And this bill was on the subject including the Sikh Gurudwara. See, this is actually a dispute, or you can say the conflict coming out from the Punjab government, the state government of Punjab versus the governor of Punjab, right? So governor of Punjab versus the state government of Punjab. The issues include the Sikh Gurudwara, the police, higher education that was passed in the budget session of the Punjab Assembly, जो विधान सभा जिसे कहते हैं, and this was passed on 90th and 20th June. But still, there is no progressive efforts coming out from the governor office, which has led finally the government of Punjab to reach out to the Honorable Supreme Court seeking their guideline and directives. Now, Supreme Court ने क्या observations दी हैं इस पूरे matters पे? This become important for you. Mains answer writing में भी ये सारी content आपको help करेगी. So what the Supreme Court said, the apex court has noted that the parliamentary forum of democracy has a real power, right? And the elected representative of the government should be given the topmost priority. Their decision making should be appreciated. The is appointee of the president and is a nominal head of the state. You can find all this statement in M. Lakshmikant. If you have read well, you must be familiar of these basic points. Now, the governor act on the aid and advice of the council of the minister and saves the area where the constitution gave him the discretion. If governor is at all not basically he's not satisfied with the bill, he can withhold the bill for certain period and even look for the recommendations and advice for the president. तो president के लिए जो advice होती है सिर्फ उनके लिए ही governor bill को रख सकते हैं, right? The power to take decision affecting the governance of the state or even the nation is essentially interested with the arm of the state government. So to ensure that cooperative federalism, cooperative governance, which is working in the country, has to come within the state and the governor, right? Now, कुछ constitutional provisions की बात करें, there are two articles that you need to take into consideration. First is Article 200, then other is Article 201. Article 200 में क्या है? Article 200 of the Indian Constitution outline करती है procedures को जहाँ पे State Legislative Assembly has to submit it assent to the governor. Actually they submit the bill और finally governor के approval के बाद वो जो bill है वो actually में act बनती है. The governor can either grant their assent, refuse the assent, and reserve the bill for president consideration for certain period depending upon the part of the bill. And the governor may also return the bill with the message requesting for the reconsideration of the house. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो state away उसे reject करेंगे. The state away rejection is not allowed. He can ask for a consideration with the council of ministers or even for the parliament. Now, it states that when a bill is reserved for the consideration with the president may assent the bill, withhold the assent of the bill. This is a discretion within the president, or president can also direct the governor to return the bill to the house with the legislature for state consideration. So these are some of the provision upon which the things actually work. ये जो news है basically वो पंजाब के context में है. There's some other issues that is also coming from Tamil Nadu. So the issue of Tamil Nadu has also been reported in the newspaper. वहाँ पे भी बिल को लेकर के काफ़ी ज़्यादा इशू हुई है. Governor has not been giving his assent. So this topic has become important. जो functioning of governor है उस पे भी आप पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. Functioning of governor. So this is an important topic for the governance in general studies paper 2. आप यहाँ से direct questions का उम्मीद कर सकते हैं. They can be question in the mains examination. Even some of the important factual point can be relevant for the prelims as well. Now moving ahead, Prime Minister may attend COP28 summit in Dubai. तो COP27 के बाद COP28 summit हो रही है. Prime Minister is likely to present in the 28th edition of the COP by virtual mode, and this is taking place from November 30th till December 12th. So something important that will set a role model for other important forums. और अगर बात करें loss and damage fund की, I have already made a discussion to loss and damage fund. This was actually finalized in COP27. इसकी हिस्ट्री भी मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस की ऑन द प्रीवियस एडिशन. अगर आपने वो वीडियोस नहीं देखे हैं, डू चेक इट आउट. यू कैन फाइंड दैट ऑन द प्लेलिस्ट सेक्शन. Now, what is COP28 and what is the venue? So venue is UAE, United Arab Emirates. Dubai is a city. 30th November till 12th December it will be there. इसमें कुछ important areas highlight की गई हैं, कुछ priority areas होंगे COP28 के, and it will comprises of 28 meeting of the Conference of Parties, which is under the UNFCCC, right? उसके अलावा 5th meeting on the COP survey that will be parties to the Paris Agreement, जैसे CMA5 भी कहेंगे. 18th meeting of the COP survey meeting of the parties to Kyoto Protocol, the CMP18. 59th meeting of the subsidiary body of implementations, and the 59th meeting of the subsidiary body of scientific and technological advice. So all this forum, जो important forums हैं, they will be giving their advice, and accordingly a declaration will be adopted post 20 जो COP28 के conclusions के बाद will be coming up some details that will be again relevant for the upcoming prelims and for the mains examination. तो COP जितने भी recent के COPs हुए हैं उसके क्या outcomes हैं वो आपको पता होने चाहिए. जो लास्ट कोप हुई थी दैट इज COP26, वहाँ पे लॉस एंड डैमेज फंड, जहाँ पे क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस की अगर बात करें, दैट वाज द मोस्ट सिग्निफिकेंट पॉइंट दैट वाज डिस्कस्ड. एंड इफ यू आर राइटिंग अबाउट क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस इन मेंस एग्जामिनेशन, मेक श्योर you are giving example of COP27 where the actual climate finance was conceptualized with the fund that is known as the loss and damage fund. Now, what is a global stock take? अगर global stock की बात करें, this was actually the part of Paris Climate Agreement, जहाँ पे fundamental components ये रखी गई है कि monitor and implementations of collective process is very important when it comes to achieving the goal of climate change. उसे global stock take भी कहते हैं. The countries are expected to present steps and even they meet their commitment to achieve the goal of Paris Agreement. See, if you recall the part, अगर पेरिस क्लाइमेट एग्रीमेंट की बात करें, this is considered to be one of the most significant COP which took place, right? और आने वाली समय में जो COP 28 होने वाली है यूएई में, this will be the milestone which will take the progress of the Paris Agreement. Every COP is taking the precedent, जितने भी previous agreements हुए हैं उनकी क्या progress रही है उसके बारे में बातें की जाती है. The countries are expected to deliberate on the loss and damage fund, compensating the countries for bearing their burden on the climate change. Specifically, जो भी developed countries है, the developed countries has already made substantial progress. उन्होंने कुछ 30 साल तक within 3 decades they have made the pollution. Now it's their responsibility to contribute in the fund और developing countries को भी restrict की गई है कि वो limited number तक ही carbon emissions कर पाएंगे. Now, moving ahead with the other news, India-UK FTA negotiation. The signing of India and UK FTA, which is a free trade agreement, which was actually planned for this Diwali, for November, which has again been delayed because of some reason or other. The negotiation are addressing the continuous issue, which include the rule of origin and intellectual property right. जो IPR के issues हैं या फिर जो rule of origin है, ये सारे issues discussion agenda में थी. But finally, the meeting has not been concluded successfully. There's not expectation that it will be concluded. So what was the proposed FTA actually? अगर बात करें proposed FTA की between India and United Kingdom, तो ये आपको ध्यान में होना चाहिए. This is between India and UK, which started in January 2022. इसमें total 26 chapters coverage किए गए. So there are almost 26 chapter of the policies area. उसमें 21 पे काम हुई है, discussions हुई है, but there is no formal signatures or MOU has been there between these two countries. Majority of the chapters are closed in the advanced stage of negotiation. और practical negotiation या proactive negotiations की बात करें, India has been looking for an access to skilled professional. जो skilled professional है, कुछ specific areas में skilled professionals काम करते हैं UK में, that include IT. Then we have healthcare. Healthcare is again an important significant area. Then UK market is something which is dependent on the part of India's services and labor force. On the other hand, UK is seeking a significant cut of the import duties on the Scotch whisky, automobiles, lamb meat, chocolates and other center confectionery items. तो ये सारी agreements होनी है between India and United Kingdom, and this has been stalled out. Specifically for the aspirant who are having optional as an PSIR, जिन बच्चों की PSIR optional है, उनके लिए FTA इंडिया यूके की इशू काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज दिस हैज़ बिन लॉन्ग डिलेड. आपसे पूछा जा सकता है व्हाट इज द शॉर्ट कमिंग, व्हाई इंडिया एंड यूके इज नॉट एबल टू कंक्लूड विद अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनल FTA, देन यू हैव टू हाईलाइट सम इंपॉर्टेंट एंड सिग्निफिकेंट पॉइंट्स. नाउ मोड 4 कैटेगरीज की अगर बात करें, गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स ने कहा है दैट दे आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर द शॉर्ट टर्म परमिट्स सर्विंग द वर्कफोर्स and the movement will be have a natural person 4 category. इसमें actual what is mode 4? Mode 4 refer to service traded, जो individual इंडिया में है वो actually वहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं, उस employees की क्या service conditions है, किस तरह से employment provide की जा रही है, these are taken care with the mode 4 market access deemed to be very limited, focusing only on the committed, grants entry and exit solely on the highly skilled individual. ऐसे स्किल इंडिविजुअल जो कि हाई लेवल पे एक्चुअल में काम कर रहे हैं किसी भी IT कंपनीज के साथ और विद एनी फर्म. नाउ दे ऑल्सो लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड कि जो लोअर हेरार्की के लोग हैं उनको भी अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जानी चाहिए सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो एक्सप्लोर देयर कमर्शियल अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन द यूनाइटेड किंगडम. Now, how does India's service export actually work? India की अगर बात करें, the India and UK is the largest importer of the part of India's services. And it makes 17% of India's total service export, including the travel, transportations, insurance, software, and financial services. So this is the important point. You can take a note for this. The services are among the fastest growing export, which is nearly 30%, which is 267.97 billion from April compared to 206, which is like for financial year 2022. So you can see the surge which has been there, 30% की surge report की गई. Now, moving ahead with other news, that is IIP growth has been slowed down 3 month and low. According to the data that was released by the Ministry of Static and Program Implementations, IIP की growth के बारे में बताई गई है, which has been now output grew by 5.8% and this is 3 month low. पिछले 3 महीने में ये सबसे low performance देखी गई है in terms of industrial productions. Now, industrial growth की अगर बात करें, IIP stand for Index on Industrial Productions that has cooled to 3 month low, 5.8% है September पे. Earlier for August, it was 10.3% 2023. Now, growth for the sector has de-accelerated. कुछ ऐसे sectors है which is not performing well. Electricity mining has accelerated 9.9 और 11.5%. ये दो sector has been performing well for the last month. Now, in total of 23 sectors, 20 manufacturing sectors, 9 has been there in the IAP, such as food products, tobacco, apparel, paper products, recorded media, chemicals, computers, the furnitures which is there registered as a contradictions for the growth during September. Now, there are some figure and data that will help you to understand data-wise, percentage-wise, that what is the sectoral performance on year-on-year basis. YOY stand for year-on-year basis. So mining output has been grew by 11.5%. Manufacturing की बात करें, ये expand हुई है 4.5% से. Electricity generation has rose up to 9.9%. वहीं industrial output की बात करें end uses में, the primary good has rose up to 8%. Capital goods output grew to 7.7%. Intermediate good output rose to 5.8%. Manufacturing and construction good has rose up to 7.5%. Consumer durable rose up to 1% and consumer non-durable grew up to 2.7%. You can accordingly pick and choose the data as per the requirement in the examination. Now, moving ahead with the editorial for the day that talks about the rise of a matter. This specifically talks about the stubble burning and the paddy burning. This has caused a lot more problem in the basically areas in Delhi and NCR region. So Ashok Gulati, who is a renowned agriculturalist, has given his insight how we can overcome the challenges with the stubble burning process. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial, first is the Air Quality Life Index 2023, effects on other cities, need for diversions, need for of the hour, and the conclusion part. So these are the parts that I'll be taking care of in the discussions. So with air quality index 2.5, that is breaching the mark of 400 in Delhi, we have seen Delhi has been witnessing the worst air pollution in the world. 2.5 particulate matter, अगर PM 2.5 की बात करें, this has been on higher side. इस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए Supreme Court has taken the cognizance and they have asked the adjoining state, specifically states like Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, कि वो stubble burning पे ध्यान दे और farmers को incentivize करें कि वो इस तरह के stubble burning ना करें. The bench has asked to stop the stubble burning or paddy burning with the long-term solutions, and it also suggests कि जो local SHOs हैं, I mean for major station we have SHO that is called as station house officers, या फिर हर station के जो station in charge होते हैं उनको ये responsibility दी जाने की ज़रूरत है, because we need to work at the ground level. How far the implementation has yet to be seen, because the state need to execute the order of the Honorable Supreme Court with due diligence. Now, air quality life index report की बात करें, I have already made a discussion to this index, but just to give you the highlight, इस report में ये पाया गया that जिस तरह से air quality खराब हो रही है दिल्ली में, people living in Delhi can lose their 11.9 years, right? This was what was anticipated. अगर average देखा जाए 71 years की अगर लाइफ स्पैन होती है तो 11.9 years कम people can live, and this will cause 22 million people dying and killing 7.3 million people throughout the air pollution. तो काफ़ी severe conditions है. Even the government of India, the state government has not actually taken the part of air pollution so seriously. So we as an individual, as a citizen of this country, as a enlightened citizen, हमें भी कुछ काम करने की ज़रूरत है, ऐसे काम करने की ज़रूरत है जहाँ पे pollutions को कम कर पाएं. The first and foremost idea is to use public vehicles, right? I mean, the public transport is something that should be utilized. We should reduce the part of pollutions from there as well. और भी ऐसे lifestyle measures हैं जिनसे हम air pollutions को कम कर पाते हैं. Now, effects on other cities, if you look at the part, अगर पंजाब हरियाणा बेल्ट की बात करें, 4.7 million hectares is like just up to 2.5 million hectares paddy mein. We need to reduce the part of this paddy cultivation as well. Supreme Court has rightly pointed out that it is not only the crop in the region but also the depleting water table fast, जो ground water table है, we call it as a ground water table. This is also depleting on the higher side. अगर एक एग्जाम्पल ले संगरूर विच इज देयर इन पंजाब, दिस इज basically the region from where the chief minister, the incumbent chief minister of Punjab is coming. He is being elected from Sangrur. तो वहाँ पे अगर देखें 25 मीटर्स तक की डिप्लेक्शंस हुई हैं ग्राउंड वाटर में, वाटर टेबल में इन द लास्ट 2 decades, that is 20 years. The quantum of greenhouse emissions in the paddy has also been not taken into consideration. So we definitely need to look holistically ताकि जो ग्रीन हाउस गैस एमिशंस हैं उनकी रिडक्शंस पे ध्यान दी जानी चाहिए. The estimated paddy cultivations in Punjab produce at least 5 ton of the carbon, which is something which is on a higher side. So we need to reduce the overall part of the carbon productions or the carbon emissions. Now, what is the need for diversion? See, I mean, for this point of time, need और diversion of need of R दोनों की मैं बात करूँगा. नीड ऑफ डाइवर्जन में सबसे पहले हमें देखना होगा कि क्या पंजाब और हरियाणा बेल्ट से पैडी के अलावा कुछ दूसरे अल्टरनेटिव की तरफ भी बढ़ा जा सकता है. वन ऑफ द अदर प्रोविजन इज द सब्सिडी दैट कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड विद 25,000 पर हेक्टेयर टू द फार्मर, ताकि वो दूसरे क्रॉप्स भी ले पाएँ लाइक पल्सेस, ऑयल सीड्स, मिलेट्स एंड मेज. दिस विल हेल्प देम टू गेट द पार्ट ऑफ बर्निंग ऑल्सो, और ये बर्निंग की ना होने की वजह से इनमें ये फार्म प्रोड्यूस में इनको हेल्प करेगी, और दिस सब्सिडी will actually provide a cushion to them. This will help to create a crop neutral incentive, and it will have no cost to the government as it will save the subsidy from the paddy cultivations. दूसरी इंसेंटिव जो है वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के साथ करने की जरूरत है, जहाँ पे इथेनॉल प्रोडक्शंस, इफ यू लुक एट द इथेनॉल प्रोडक्शंस, आई मीन this has a high potential. Even Ministry of Road and Transport has said that इन्होंने E20 इथेनॉल की बात की है, EOBD और बहुत सारे ऐसे स्कूटर्स हैं. आई मीन just to give you an example, like Honda has come up with their scooter Activa which has E20 ethanol blending machines that is attached. तो इस तरह के जो measures हैं, even e-battery scooters are coming. That is completely different segment. I'm precisely talking about ethanol. तो ethanol आप इस तरह से E20 के blending के साथ use कर सकते हैं, where 20% ethanol will be there and rest 100% will be petrol. So it will help. Government is planning to reduce it further to 30% down. So let's see whether it is working feasibly or not, but we have to come up with some concrete actions. Now there need to create a market for ethanol blending, जहाँ पे fossil fuels and the part will be lowering the pollutions and vehicular traffics. Now need of the hour, the state should reduce the paddy procurement from those farmers with burning, and this also need to block the water table which is depleting fast. वाटर टेबल को मेंटेन करने के लिए दिस प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट pollution is definitely one of the important factor, but depleting water table is again one of the things that need to be taken into consideration. The FCI should make it clear that they will not pay more than 3% of the top MSP on the mandi fee on commissions agent. ये दोनों को भी ये clear करना होगा, because they will be one who will be motivating farmers, right? The Prime Minister need to also make a discussions with the Chief Minister, चाहे वो दिल्ली हो या फिर जो एडजेसेंट एरियाज के चीफ मिनिस्टर है, उनके साथ बात करने की जरूरत है. एंड ही शुड लुक फॉर द सॉल्यूशंस व्हेन न्यूट्रिशनल क्रॉप लाइक मिलेट्स, ऑयल सीड, पल्सेस should also be taken into consideration for the further procurement at the MSP rate. So this will motivate them, and this will motivate them and will make them possibly endeavor to produce this. I mean जो ये है इनकी जो पैदावार है उनको और ज़्यादा बढ़ाने में उनको मदद मिलेगी. Now to conclude the part, I mean India's resilience on the rice and wheat in the public distribution system is excessive. It causes diabetics and harming the environment as well. See, I mean when it comes to rice is something which is not as well as visible for the patients with diabetics. तो ये environment में भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा problem कर रही है, और lifestyle में भी, I mean for the people actually with the diabetics, right? Out of more than 5 lakh fair shop which is there, 10% can be made with the nutritional hub. जितनी भी PDS shops हैं उसमें 10% अगर न्यूट्रिशनल शॉप बनाए जाएं और उनमें ऑप्शंस दिया जाएं कि वो वीट और राइस के अलावा कुछ न्यूट्रिशनल फूड्स को भी सेल कर पाएं. द कंज्यूमर शुड बी गिवन द चॉइस वेदर दे वांट राइस और वीट, और उसके अलावा जो अल्टरनेटिव फॉर्म्स ऑफ फूड्स हैं उसे भी प्रमोट करने की जरूरत है. दिस विल डेफिनेटली क्रिएट डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इन द मार्केट. और वाटर भी सेव होगी बिकॉज ग्राउंड वाटर जिस तरह से डिप्लेक्ट हो रही है विद पैडी विच विल बी रिड्यूस्ड. मिनिमम ग्रीन हाउस गैस की इमिशंस होंगी. एंड फ्रॉम द क्रॉप सेक्टर इट विल रिड्यूस द पार्ट ऑफ पोल्यूशन इन दिल्ली एज वेल. स्पेसिफिकली जो भी दिल्ली के आसपास के एरिया है लाइक पंजाब, हरियाणा, राजस्थान, दीज आर प्रोड्यूसिंग मोर पैडी. तो यहाँ पे अगर पैडी की प्रोडक्शन कम होती है तो स्टबल बर्निंग में भी काफ़ी कम गिरावट देखी जाएगी. So these are the long-term measures that government need to take. All the stakeholders need to consider this fact that they need to work on a positive manner so that we are reducing the total pollutions, the overall pollution from a country. And the need of the hour is to significantly reduce the pollution in some specific region, which include Delhi and NCR. Now, moving ahead with the answers and discussion for the yesterday questions. The first question, the correct answer is A. मैंने आपसे aquaculture के बारे में पूछा था. This is the cultivations for aquaorganism. The statement 1 is correct. The statement 2 is incorrect, that the Ministry of Fishery and the Animal Husbandry is addressing the challenges. So this statement is incorrect. And third statement is also incorrect. You can check out the statement, pause this video and read out the detailed explanation. The second question of the day, the correct option is C. The recent formal signed of the Treaty of Convention on the Armed Forces in Europe. The statement 1 is correct and 2 is also correct, where 2 says the procedures for the overseeing the treaty have the compliance mechanism that require information sharing and reciprocal inspection of the statement. So these two statements are correct. Now moving ahead with the today's MCQ questions for the day. The first question is about Tanzania. It's an African country that is landlocked. The positions of the south with equator. This country is home to Mount Kilimanjaro. So what you have to do to participate, you have to just write the question number, that is question number 1, followed by your correct answer, that is A, B, C or D, and you can accordingly mark your correct answer in the comment section down below. The second question of the day is about the project Dolphin. It's a part of integrated development of wildlife habitat program. The union government paid its totally. This is with regards to the fund. So this is question number 2 for the day. आप अपने जो सही ऑप्शंस हैं वो हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर बताएं. पार्टिसिपेट एंड राइट द आंसर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन डाउन बिलो. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, admissions and programs, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying connected.